Okay, take 37 of me trying to confine this video into 5 minutes for you guys, as well as not say and look around a whole bunch. So apologize, my ADHD medication has worn off and I'm trying to make videos, which is always a recipe for success if you ask me. So if you're coming across this video, maybe it's because I have become YouTube famous, and hopefully by then I figure out how to put backgrounds of my dog like actually behind me and not have two separate pictures going on. So, anyways, I'm Caleb, and this is a video about how to track and manage fatigue as well as intensity, and some advantages and disadvantages of some known strategies that are used today. So, we'll start with the free ones. So, a big advantage, right, is they're free, they don't cost anything. And the most common one I use for my clients for the most part are reps in reserve or reps in the tank. And basically, what that means is when you have an absolute max. So if you did dumbbell curls with 30 pounds and you just barely got 10 reps and there's no way you can get another, it's zero in the tank, right? Zero reps in reserve. So then if we were having you do an easier day and you're supposed to do 3 to 4 in the tank, you would do 7 reps with that weight, or maybe 6. And the advantage of this style of tracking intensity is that not every day of the week you're going to feel super fresh. And so the way to hold yourself honest by doing 4 in the tank or 3 in the tank or whatever's prescribed for intensity that day is, we can see with the weights that you use, maybe you're going to get less reps or maybe you'll get more reps. And as long as you stay true to, I'm doing what I'm told about 2 in the tank or 4 in the tank or whatever, it's a really good way to track data on how you feel and how you're performing. You start to understand kind of that mind muscle connection, your body awareness, muscle fiber type of like, if I'm a really explosive athlete, my final rep before failure might move faster than a endurance based athlete, right? Endurance based is not going to produce as much power as an explosive individual, but they can go longer, right? Because, you know, they're less fatigable. Maybe one of the disadvantages of reps in reserve is it's not particularly friendly to beginners because you don't know. You don't know what 0 in the tank is, and you don't know what 10 in the tank is. You have no idea. But if you stick with it, you start to really understand your own body, and then you can see those improvements upon meso to meso of how you're getting better, right? Like, oh, my 2 in the tanks are going up on my 30-pound curls. I was getting 7 last meso, and now I'm getting 10 to whatever. So you can really get some good data off that. The other free one will be RPE, so it's rate of perceived exertion. This is usually on a scale of like 6 to 20 or 1 to 10. 1 is like easy activity, 10 is vigorous activity, really, really hard. This is a good scale to use for like cardiorespiratory stuff, so cardio, muscle endurance circuits, things like that. Because it'd be really hard to put you on the Stairmaster, right, and say, go 2 in the tank. 1, 2 away from failure. Holy crap, you're never going to train with me again. That's a nightmare on a Stairmaster. And then 2 is just, it's free, right? We can kind of just like, all right, this counts as vigorous activity. I'm about to throw up. I'm in the red. This will work for me. Or, I'm in the green. This is pretty easy. Some other really more popular ones that you do have to start to have access to equipment and stuff is like 1 rep maxes. The advantages is we get hard numbers, right? So we can see, is our training working? Or as someone new, we can get a good baseline of how strong you are. And then from there, we can base percentages off your 1 rep max. So, hey, turn your brain off today, Caleb. You're going to lift at 70% for 8 reps, 6 reps, whatever. And those are the advantage to that. The disadvantages is if I come in on 1 rep max day and the stars align and I feel great, I'm going to get a really good max, right? And then 3 weeks in and we're doing 70%, maybe I had a fight with my girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. And maybe you as the athlete had that. And it was over you playing RuneScape all night, which honestly I defend you on. If you need someone to talk to, you should be able to play RuneScape. But anyways, um, if you come in fatigued, right, your 70%'s not your 70%. You know, maybe it's your 80, maybe it's your 90. You're tired. And especially if you're in a group setting among athletes, one rep max percentages to base lifts on can kind of get lost in the pack, right? Maybe everyone else is lifting at 70% and you're maxing out that day. So there are some disadvantages to be aware of, as well as you have to have someone healthy enough to one rep max. Um, I'm already at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. I got more to say, so bear with me. I'll try to be as interesting as possible. Another good one that would be used for more cardio based activities would be like a heart rate monitor. So similar to the one rep max, you know, we can get we have some good protocols out there to test like heart rate maxes, doing some estimates if we don't feel the population we're working with is exactly safe to do max heart rate test on because that's super vigorous. But we can base percentages, right? We can say, hey, I want you to be in the 60% range or the 70% range. And generally, when you're looking at ranges of what to train for cardiorespiratory, muscular endurance, circuit training type stuff, um, they'll have like zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. And basically, it's kind of similar to RPE. Like zone 1's in these certain percentage ranges, that's not that hard. Zone 4 is really up there in that 80% max rate, heart rate plus, really, really difficult. And anytime we can use like actual numbers, you know, we're a little bit more accurate on performance. We're a little bit more accurate on fatigue management. And then one of the last ones to talk about, which is a little more fancy, and I don't know how many of you will actually run into it. I've been blessed with, at my college, I've gotten to play around with them, but it's called VPT training, so velocity based training. And it's a really interesting way to track not only fatigue but performance. You'll get a device that's no bigger than this, and it has a magnetic strip to it that you can attach to a barbell. And what you do is you'll get a one rep max, and we'll actually get to see how fast you move that one rep max. So velocity, you know, meters per second. And from there, we can get your 80% max, we can get your 60%, your 40%, and we can see how fast you move. From there, we can train you purely off those numbers that we're going to have you lift within this range. And we can see speed wise, right? Velocity wise, if you're not moving as fast as you were, you're probably fatigued for the day. So we could take 40% of your max, which isn't very demanding, right? You know, you do 20 plus reps with 40%, and we can have you just lift really fast, you know, a couple reps there. And then what we can see is like, oh yeah, Caleb is fatigued today, or he's not. He went to bed like an adult and deleted RuneScape. And you know, from there we can base that whole training session off that. You can also, when you develop this velocity based profile from getting, you know, their speeds at these different percentages of you know, intensity, how heavy the weight is, we can lift for different physiological characteristics. So we can lift for strength with these lower rep numbers, and we're going to lift that weight really slow. And we can lift for, you know, power, speed, etc. So I hope I didn't bore you guys too much. And I hope I did a pretty good job explaining how the different strategies of managing fatigue and intensity work. And yeah, if you stuck around this long, I guess at the end of videos, just will say subscribe because I'm sure that will convince you too. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna stop saying and I'm gonna get off the camera. I hope you guys all have a good day. Bye bye.